Hello, my name is Aidan Honshiko. I'm currently 16 years old and enrolled in the Deer Park FFA organization as well as the Bits and Spurs 4-H Club. My interest in chickens started when I was a little boy, and ever since then, they have been a regular part of my life. In caring for my chickens, I've experienced and witnessed many different health problems. Now, you could take your ill bird to a certified veterinarian, but that can be very costly. Therefore, I began to study on how I could remedy these problems myself, but at home. Today, I'm going to show you and teach you some of the basic first aid techniques that you can provide for your flock at home. Okay, so first, let's go through some of the basic signs of illness that you can see in your bird. So, some of the basic symptoms that you can see is hiding out or away from the flock, pale combs or wattles, which would be wool comb and wattle, unusual droppings, which can vary drastically, unusual posture, lethargic, lack of appetite, and decreased egg production are all some of the basic symptoms that you will see in an ill bird. So, next, we're going to talk about some of the do's and don'ts you should do for when you have a ill bird. So, I would definitely do isolate the bird at the first signs of illness. Hydration is the most important thing you could do for a bird. So, hydration forms their basis of their metabolism, which allows every function in their body to work. So, giving electrolytes to a hen can be very beneficial because it provides her with extra minerals as well as the basic hydration minerals that you get in water. Another one would be do feed by a spoon, dropper, or by hand. Now, feeding is not as important as hydrating the bird, but when you are feeding, do not make any sudden changes to her diet or rush any sort of treatment or herb or spice that you may try to give your bird. Another one was do not treat or medicate randomly. This can result in severe condition or even death. The last one would be definitely don't misuse any antibiotics. So, unless you are certain of the kind of illness that your bird has, do not give your bird antibiotics unless you go get a lab testing. Unless you are certain that it is a bacterial illness, therefore you would ask your local veterinarian on what antibiotics to give your bird. So next I'm going to talk about troubleshooting. So these are the troubleshooting questions that I did find online to help narrow down what could possibly be wrong with my bird. So I'm going to list off some of these questions. What is the age of the bird? When did you last see her lay an egg? Does she feel lighter or thinner than usual? How long have her symptoms been present? Any new additions to the flock recently? Are there any flock members showing signs of illness? Any signs of trauma such as bleeding, bruising, or broken bones? Is the bird eating and drinking normally? Is the bird eating or has gotten into anything poisonous? Have there been any changes to the bird's diet recently? Do the droppings look normal? Any worms in her droppings? Does her crop feel full, empty, soft, or hard? Does her crop empty overnight? Is her abdomen hard, soft, full, or squishy? Are there any dirty feathers near or around the vent? Are there any insects on the bird, particularly near the vent? Any unusual lesions to the body under the skin, comb, wattles, or in the mouth? Is she sneezing, coughing, wheezing, or having trouble breathing? Is there any facial swelling? Is there any nasal or eye discharge? And last question, does the bird have any watery or bubbly eyes? So those are just a few troubleshooting questions that you can definitely use and help you narrow down what might be wrong and find the illness that your bird has. So next and most importantly, we are going to look at some of the options and products you can use in the treatment of your ill bird. So first and foremost, latex non-powder gloves to wear to prevent any contaminants from getting on your hands. Next, we are going to look at this poultry booster, which can be added to the hen's food to boost her mineral intake as well as vitamin intake. We also have some gauze and nonstick pads to cover and protect any wounds on the skin, comb, wattle, or legs. And to put under the gauze, we have some ointment that is very similar to Neosporin that protects the wound from rubbing and bleeding. We also have Corid, which is used to flush out any worms in the intestinal system. Now, if you're not very good with measurements or you're just nervous about giving your bird too much or too little, definitely get an adult's help. We also have some petroleum jelly or Vaseline to cover the wounds and protect them, as well as put on the bird's comb and wattle to protect any bleeding spots. And to clean any blood, we have a small kit containing cotton wipes, Q-tips, and cotton balls that can be used to clean blood with rubbing alcohol or a antibacterial hydrogen peroxide mix that can clean the wound as well as protect it. We also have a brush to brush anything out of the feathers. It's a soft bristled brush. You can get these at almost any pet shop or farm shop. We also have larger gauze for larger hens, and you can cut these in half with, I use safety scissors because chicken skin is very delicate and can bleed very easily, so I use safety scissors to help prevent poking them and hurting them. Now, to feed the chicken, you can use a dropper or to give them any sort of medication that you may need to give. This is very useful, and I do recommend washing it out every time you use it. If you need to take anything off the bird, you can use a pair of medical tweezers to help get any contaminants off the bird, such as scabs and dry blood. Once you re-inhabit the bird, you can use this poultry protector to spray inside your chicken coop to protect it from any germs or bacteria. You can also use this Vetracin Plus that can be used to clean wounds. You just simply spray on the wound and it will clean and disinfect the wound. We also have this liquid Nutrient that is also boosting your bird's vitamin intake and mineral intake by putting it in the bird's water. We also have VetRx, which can be put in the water to help promote upper respiratory functions. And lastly, we have a isolation enclosure, or basically a pet carrier, that can be used for a bird such as her size, or you may need a larger one for a larger bird. So now I want to touch on reintegration. Now, when reintegrating your bird, you would want to treat the bird as if she were a complete stranger to the hens. That way, reintegration is much easier, especially into the pecking order, as accepting her as if she is a new hen instead of moving her down if they knew her. Now, reintegration can be fairly simple, but you can have some aggressive hens or roosters which should promptly be removed and placed in a different pen for the time being. So that is all the basic first aid for chickens that I have for you. Now I hope that was very helpful and informational for you. And to me, learning about chicken health has definitely helped me to better able to care for my flock. Now, thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.